So let's begin. So like I already said, in today's lesson, I will continue talking about modal verbs. Last time I talked about the modal verb can. And if you watched it, or if you remember, I told you that you can use the modal verb can in 4 different contexts. There are 4 different uses for it. So the first one was you use can when you are offering something to somebody. So that would be, can I get you something? Even can I offer you something? Can I take you home? Be careful with that question. And then the second use was for permission. So you use can when you are asking for permission, and that would be, can I use your phone? Can I sit here? Okay, and then the third use is asking, or is talking about ability. So can I lift this heavy box? Or I can speak 5 languages. Okay, so ability. And the last one is permission or, possibility or impossibility. So it can be cold in the winter. It doesn't mean it will be cold, or it doesn't mean that it's cold all the time. It just can. It's a possibility. Or it can't be cold in the winter. It's Africa. It's never cold. So a general possibility or impossibility. Okay. So today, instead of just giving you another one modal verb, I will instead look at all 4 sections that I just mentioned. So I will look at offers, permission, ability, and I don't think I will be looking at possibility and impossibility today. Otherwise, it'll be too much information for you. So I will look at those sections and discuss what other modal verbs you can use for those. So the first one was offering. Can I get you a coffee? For that section is very easy. The only thing you can use is can. Can is the only modal verb you can use when you are offering something. Okay, so easy peasy. Now let's look at permission. There are a few more modal verbs you can use when asking for permission. So the first one was obviously can. Can I use your phone? You can also use could, may, and might. So another 3. So you can say, could I use your phone? Okay, so if you compare can I use your phone and could I use your phone, can is more something you would say to somebody you know well, like a friend or a family member. Could is a little bit more polite. So could you would use to talk to a stranger or someone you don't know very well. And it's the same for may. So could and may are used exactly in the same way, and they are both just very polite ways of asking someone for permission. And there's also might. So you can say, might I use your phone? Might I use your phone? To me sounds a little bit posh. It's almost something that a very well-spoken person would say. Might I use your phone? It's not very common to use might. People would generally just use could or may if they wanted to be really polite. Okay, so which one do we use when we're talking to friends and family? We use can. And if we want to be polite, we would say could, may. And if we are very well spoken, we use might. Exactly. Okay, so I just want to have a look at the very basic structure of those questions. Just a very basic structure to help you construct the question. Okay, so I tried to make it easy for you. So there's 2 types of questions. So you would start the question with the modal verb, so can or could or may or might. Then you have who. Then you have do what. and what. So modal verb, could, who, I, do what, use, what, your phone. Could I use your phone? Who do what, basically. Or if you swallow your T's like I do, it's who do what. But don't say that. That's not proper. That's not correct English. So could I use your phone? And then here where you have what, it can be a noun or it can also be a pronoun. So may I use it? Okay. And then the second one is modal verb, who, do what, and where. So you could say, may I sit here? Who, do what, where. So you've got who, do what, and you've got who, do what, where. Okay, so that's your very basic structure for constructing a question asking permission. Okay, and it would be good if you had a pen and a paper with you so you could record everything, or you can see this video afterwards and just pause it and write it down. It will just help you remember. Here I have some more examples for you. So you've got, again, I've used might this time because you can use might if you want to sound very well spoken. So might I play with the dog? So who, I, do what, play with what, the dog. Okay. Or could I use your phone? We already had that. May I take it? So you've got your pronoun it. May I take it? Can they park their caravan? Okay. May they park their caravan? Or you've got the who, do what, where. Might I sit here? Can she eat her chips? Do what? Eat her chips. Okay, it's a long one, but it's do what? Eat her chips. Eat her chips. Where? Here. Or may we play our music? There. Do what? Play our music. Where? There. Okay. So, how do you answer that question? It's very easy. If you want a short answer, it's just yes or no. You either give permission or you don't. Or if you wanted to say a longer answer, you would say either yes you can or you can't, yes you could, no you couldn't, yes you may, no you may not. So you cannot contract may not. Mayn't, it doesn't work. So it's may not. And yes you might or no you mightn't. You can contract might not to mightn't, but it could be a little bit difficult to say. So if you wanted to say a long answer, you could just say might not. And it sounds very good as well. Right, so we have established that for permissions we can use can, could, may, and might. Now, what about the next section? The next section is ability. I told you last time we can use can for ability. What else can we use for ability? So there's the important thing to remember is that you use can for ability only in the present tense. Okay. Now, what else can you use in present tense? You can simply use be able to. Okay. I can speak 5 languages. I am able to speak 5 languages. Okay, so I can or I am able to. And that's in present. Now, what about the past? Okay, there are 3 different things you can use in terms of modal verbs for the past. So if in the present you have can, then in the past you would have could or couldn't. Okay, so I could read when I was 5, or I couldn't read when I was 5. Easy. Another one you can use, because in the present you have I'm able to or able to. So in the past that would be was able to or were able to. So I was able to run a marathon 5 years ago. Or I wasn't able to run a marathon 5 years ago. Okay. And then the last one is something you would say when you want to tell a person that you were able to do something in the past, but you can't do it anymore. So something you could do in the past, but not right now. Okay, and that is, it's quite a long one, so I've written it down for you. It's used to be able to. I used to be able to. So I used to be able to run a marathon 10 years ago, but not anymore. I'm too old now, or I'm not fit enough. It means you can't do it right now. You could train again and you might be able to do it next year, but right now you can't. So you used to be able to run a marathon, but not right now, not anymore. Okay, but it doesn't mean that you won't be able to do it in the future. Okay, so what if you wanted to say that you were not able to do something in the past, but you are able to now? How would you say it then? Is it easy enough to swap it around? It would be simpler to say, I wasn't able to run a marathon 5 years ago, but now I can. Okay, so wasn't able to, but is the easiest way you can say when you were not able to do something in the past, but you can now. Because if you wanted to use used to, it would sound like this. I didn't used to be able to. That's too long. It's correct, but just too long. When you are having a conversation, you want to keep it as short as possible. So I wasn't able to then, but now would be an easier way to say it instead of I didn't used to be able to. Just too much. Okay. So 3 options when you talk about the past. Could, couldn't, was able to, wasn't able to, and used to be able to. Or, yeah, didn't used to be able to, which is just too long. Okay. So, what about the basic structure here? The basic structure, when you talk about ability, is again, I've written the questions for you. So you got who you're talking about, modal verb, do what, and when. So when you talk about the past, if it's not clear from the context, it's important to mention when, because otherwise it doesn't really make sense or it will raise questions. So for example, who, I, modal verb, could, do what, run a marathon, when. So if you said I couldn't run a marathon, people would be like, "What? When are you talking about?" When I was 20, okay, or last year. So who, modal verb, do what, when. Okay, she wasn't able to speak 5 languages last year. Okay, or the second option is you can take the when and just put it in front. That's fine too. You can say last year she wasn't able to run a marathon or speak 5 languages. Okay, so you've got who, modal verb, do what, when, or when, who, modal verb, do what. Okay, right. So that's the basic structure for talking about ability in the past. And now what about the future? Future is very, very easy. There's only one way you can say it, and that's will be able to. Will be able to. That whole chunk is the modal verb for the future. Okay. Next year, I will be able to run a marathon because I am training right now. Or I will not be able to come to work today. I don't feel very well. I will not be able to come to work today. Or if you put the when before in front of the sentence. It's tomorrow I will not be able to come to work. Don't feel very well today, so tomorrow I will not be able to go to work or come to work. Okay. Now, if it's clear from the context when the situation is happening, you don't have to say when. So, for example, you're on a night out and you're standing in the queue and you see somebody in front of you wearing trainers. You would say, that guy will not be able to get in the club because he's wearing the wrong shoes. But from the context, it's clear when it's happening, so you don't have to say when you know when you're talking about. Okay. So again, for questions, as usual, you just take the modal and put it in front. So, could you read when you were 5? Yes, I could. No, I couldn't. Be careful with the was and where. So know when to use was and know when to use where. For the past, we've used to be able to. The question is, did you used to be able to? It's quite a long one. Did you used to be able to run a marathon 5 years ago? Did you used to be able to? It's quite a long one, but it's a whole chunk that you can just remember, and then you don't have to construct it again. It's just there, a whole expression ready to be used, which makes life a little bit easier for you. It's most of the question already done for you. And then for the future, you have, will I be able to? Will I be able to travel to France in June? Will I be able to? Okay. So that's quite a lot of information in one lesson. Let's just do a quick practice for ability. I will give you a sentence in present, and then I want you to change it either in the for the past or future. So sentence number 1, I can smell gas. I can smell gas. Yesterday, I could smell gas. Because I used can in present, I want you to use could in the past. So I can smell gas now. Yesterday, I could smell gas. And tomorrow, I will be able to smell gas. Technically, this sentence does not make sense, but grammatically, it's absolutely correct. So tomorrow, I will be able to smell gas. The next one. I'm able to speak 3 languages. When I was 20, I was able to speak 3 languages. When I was 20, I was able to speak 3 languages. Okay, and then for the future, when I'm 20, I will be able to speak 3 languages. When I'm 20, I will be able to speak 3 languages. Wishful thinking for some people. Right, so next one. I could dance really well when I was 16, but not now. I could dance really well when I was 16, but not now. Okay, when I was 16, I used to be able to dance really well. So that's the really long one with used to be able to. When I was 16, I used to be able to dance really well. Or you can put the when at the end and it would be, I used to be able to dance really well when I was 16. Or if you wanted to do future, say you are 15 now and you are learning how to dance because you really like it, and you would say, when I'm 16, I will be able to dance really well. Okay? Or I will be able to dance really well when I'm 16, because now I'm 15 and I'm practicing really hard. Okay, so that's that. Because it was a lot of information in this lesson, I have just written it all down for you. So if you want to take a paper and a pen and write it down, it's up to you. Or you can just watch this video afterwards and pause it and copy that over. So we covered the 3 sections: offers, permission, and ability. The modal you can use for offers is can, that's the only one. And then for permission, apart from can, you can also use could, may, and might. Could and may being really polite, and might being very polite as well, and something who wants to sound really well spoken. And for ability, apart from can, which you use in present, and also am able to or able to in the present. For the past, you have could, couldn't, was able to, wasn't able to, used to be able to, and then for the future you've got will be able to. So that's your summary of today's lesson. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.